Hello and welcome. In this video, I will become the ultimate villain. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Overwatch 2. In Overwatch 1, Overwatch 2, we're diving into the limited time mode called Demon Lord, where I, a beefed up Reinhardt, will go head to head with 4 other players who get to choose their own unique heroes from a limited roster. The catch? I have to win a match as the Demon Lord without dying. Easy peasy, right? Well, not exact. I mean, we're talking about real players here, not AI-controlled NPCs who are completely predictable. We're talking about real, actual players. From super skilled ninjas to, let's just say, players with the reflexes of a rock. So ladies and gentlemen, join me on this joyous quest to become the ultimate Demon Lord. And let's get started. The rules are simple. Rule 1. Win a Demon Lord match without dying. Rule 2. Hit that like button and subscribe for more challenge videos. I mean, why wouldn't you? And if you don't,
I'll leave a Lego block in your room so that way you'll step on it when you wake up in the morning.
Now since I'm pretty overpowered in this mode, this challenge should be super easy, especially with a health pool like this. This mode equips me with double damage that allows me to 2-shot squishy enemies, 2 triple fire strikes for ranged attacks. This attack was super effective for getting those pesky supports that like to hide up in high places. I can use my barrier to soak up damage like a sponge. This is extremely useful because there is no way for me to heal myself in this mode. Also, my ultimate is now AoE instead of a frontal attack. And with an arsenal like this, it can be pretty easy to get overly confident. But a wise man once said, overconfidence leads to carelessness. Now the answer should be simple. Just focus on the squishies, hide behind my barrier, and use my ultimate when it's available. But things weren't going to be that simple. I played as aggressive as I could get. I focused on the supports and focused on the squishies, and I was getting my ass kicked. What was the issue? Am I playing too aggressive? Well, let's break down the issues, and maybe we could find a solution. There were 3 main threats I had completely overlooked. Let's start with Orisa. With her Fortify ability, she could stop my charge attacks dead in its tracks and shrug off my hammer swings like it's nothing while she's in that state. She could also use that same ability to make herself immune to crowd control effects. Her Spear Javelin can stun me out of my charge and ultimate, resulting in my ultimate progress back down to 0. Her Javelin spin can block my projectiles and push me off the map if I'm not paying attention to my positioning, which, to be fair, that was mostly on me. Her ult sucks me towards her, causing me to be slowed while in her AoE, and the longer she charges her ult, the more damage it will do to me. With abilities like these, it allows Orisa players to play super aggressive, resulting her to be constantly in my face, which can make it very difficult for me to get to her teammates. Next on the hit list is Lifeweaver, the sneaky support who loves chilling in high places. This guy will slowly chip away at my health while healing his teammates from a safe distance. And his pedal platform ability allows him to pretty much build an elevator and a dash, making it very difficult for me to catch him. But worse, and I mean the reason why you even use him in this mode, is his life grip. This ability pretty much countered me, pulling whoever's in my charge attack back to safety. Oh, and I guess I need to mention, he can make a tree. Doesn't really do much. I mean, it just kind of pulsates and kind of useless in this mode. The biggest threat from Torb is his turret. That's it. He'll place his turrets in a high place and it will eat away at my health. And I absolutely hate it. And Tracer is just free kills. Did I say there were 3 threats? I meant 4. The map itself. This mode only has 2 maps in its rotation. The free-for-all map, Black Forest, is completely stacked against me, with wide open areas and cliffs for Orisa to knock me off into oblivion, and high areas where supports can mock me from a safe distance. This is the worst map to even attempt this challenge on. I will need to be a little bit more creative if I even have a chance of beating this challenge. But after some serious thinking, I finally figured out a perfect strategy. Starting with the map, I decided to do this challenge on Eichenwald. Sorry if I butchered that name. There's a lot of indoor areas I can use here. Using these areas were perfect, since I could bait Lifeweaver's teammates out of his line of sight, which means he won't be able to save them with his grip ability. And he would have to get into the fight himself if he even had a chance of saving them. Speaking of him, I figured out I could just use my charge to close the gap between me and him, and just stand next to him while he activates his elevator ability, leading to some pretty funny moments. For Orisa, I used her aggressiveness against her and baited her into an enclosed space. I waited for her Fortify to wear off and let off with a charge attack. While she's stunned, I always finished her off with a Fire Strike. That's extra damage to her if all 3 hit her at once. But there was one thing I failed to include at my earlier attempts in this challenge. It's the power-ups that were scattered around the map. I mean, they're like my secret sauce for success, providing speed buffs and ultimate charge boosts. And thanks to the location of these power-ups, I found a nice little loop. Although this loop didn't make the other players very happy. Some would call this a pussy strategy. Others would say this is strategy. Some would call this being a tryhard, especially for a mode that's in arcade, you know, a mode for casual players. But that didn't matter because I had a goal in mind. If I need to look like a tryhard to reach it, then so be it. I didn't care who I had to trick, who I needed to bait to their deaths. I swung that hammer non-stop around the map, charging enemies to their deaths, watching enemies kill their own teammates. My strategy was so fearsome that it even made other players quit and leave the game. And with the final kill finally at my reach, I became the ultimate Demon Lord. Oh man.